The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 275 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. For this one, we're going to call it Black and Gold Roses for very obvious reasons. And of course, it's another milestone for us, hitting episode 275. It seems to always happen around the big games. So here we go yet again. Of course, to make it happen, we got to bring the crew back together again. So we've got Bam, we've got Tony, and we've got Araceli in the mix to share it with all of you. And of course, my name is Joseph Zacher. Welcome aboard, everybody. All right, let's go for this. We got the game coming up. Season is here. We're going to talk about everything, including Apple, rumors. You got it. We're gonna get you covered. So it's gonna be a pretty heavy one, but it's gonna be a fun one tonight. First and foremost, again, 2023 season is here. To get into it, though, we do need to close out some old stuff before we talk about the new. So I'm gonna throw this one over to I'm gonna say hi to everybody first. But Bam, how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. It's a nice warm day at the moment. I'm feeling for the people over in Adelaide, or as we like to call them, Radelaide at the moment. They've got a heat wave going at the moment. They've topped 41 for the last couple of days in a row. That's supposed to be heading this way. There are some bushfires going around at the moment. So to all the people out there fighting the bushfires and all that, you're doing a great work. Keep it up. Stay safe out there.
Beyond dangerous. Totally understood, man. We can get it here in Southern California as well. But I know about Australia, and it's no joke at all. Thank you, Bam, for coming on tonight. We see Tony. He's getting the image out for everybody. Tony, how you doing today?
Doing pretty well. I was in bed earlier as my cohorts were watching me. Almost decided to do it from my bed because I'm just so tired with the week leading up. As you know, I've been a very busy boy during the weekend and also during the week. Been at training camp earlier, so doing pretty well. Excited. Starting to figure out this outfit for this Saturday because it will rain. But other than that, ready for El Clásico Angelillo, and yeah.
Well, there is one thing that's certain. It will be a blackout. So your colors are very limited. You get one color. That's it. As much as we love the smoke, it's a blackout. Got to respect it. I know. I love the kit too. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's different. But it's not appropriate for this weekend. It's all about the black. Araceli, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. We're finally 2 days away from the season opener. The day we've been waiting for is finally here. And in all fairness, I really hope the weather is okay for it, because I have been seeing the videos all day today of like the snow and the hail. I could just imagine what it's been like for you guys. And really.
Well, I mean, you saw Punk in this video from his work where it was snowing. Mind you, that's like 3 miles from my house. The foothills were getting dusted. It's different. It's not normal. It's different. But you know what? I was kind of hoping it would hit for the kids, so I'm good with it. Let it be weird. It's fine. We need weather. I know we'll pay for it on Saturday, but forget it. It's game. Cold weather game. It's all about what you wear anyway. So like Tony says, if you wear the right clothes, it's manageable. If you go in there thinking it's going to be a normal day in the North End, it's going to be painful for you. You just got to be ready for these things. And we'll bug you guys about that and tell you a bit about that as we go. Of course, there was some things that happened over this past week. We're going to cover those first and then get into the mix. Bam, we've closed out preseason, right? We're ready to go?
Yes, we have. We ended up with a nice 3-1 win over the Loyal. I didn't see any of the game, just going by what was on Twitter and all that. Seemed like it was a fairly decent game. Some former players of ours were on the Loyal team, so that was good to see. Hope that they all have the good luck. And I did see that Perez has now left Empire Strikers and gone to Loyal full time now. So best luck to him. See how he goes outdoors. But yeah, nice little 3-1 win over our little brothers down south.
Yeah, it was a good time. Jerry came up from San Diego wearing black and gold, of course, for this one. As much as he loves it there, I mean, we know where he's come from basically, and so that was fun to have our fam with us. Game wise, I will say that it was an impressive win for us. Yes, we allowed a goal. Things happen when you're pressing forward, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was full control for us, and really it was the players getting featured. Some decent dynamic play. I gotta say Tillman for me was the story because we really haven't had an introduction to him in this match. He basically showed what he could do, and what we're quickly realizing, and I've actually heard this from the club as well, is Tillman can basically fill every role in midfield. He can play defensive mid, he can be controlling mid, he can go attacking mid. He basically has all the tools. His fitness is one of the best on the team because he was coming straight from Bundesliga 2. So he's already in mid-season form. And so yes, the intelligence was there, the physicality from him was there. He's ready for game day. And that was good to see. Up top was kind of fun to see Apoko, Bwango, and Vela kind of teaching each other and getting used to things the way they are now. And a lot of lessons for Opoku as he was playing, but good things. And of course, Bouanga, I always love a player that smiles while he scores goals and right before he scores goals. To me, it's fun to see that certain guys have fun with this thing. And he does. You get the sense that sometimes he scores when he feels like it, and this was one of those cases where okay, now let's settle this. So that was good to see as well. I mean, that was basically my take from the game. Tony, your thoughts on the match?
Overall, it was a really good game. You saw a lot of what, Slip said earlier of we're on a roll. Some people are already in mid-season form. Some are just trying to, shake off the rust from the preseason.
Yeah.
Again, it's looking pretty well. Doesn't look like we're missing Chicho Arango at the moment with how our front line is going really well. They mesh really well. It almost seems like Vela has kind of taken Chicho's place, as you saw with his first goal, and that was like literally a Chicho goal. So an older Vela means probably a more in the spot. Won't be as physical as Chicho, unfortunately, but he'll be there in the spot helping distribute and everything like that. So for all those people worried about the front line, we're okay there. Our back line looked pretty well. As you saw, Joseph, as well as everyone saw, even my friend who was his first game, Chiellini was a general back there. After every play, he was like talking to him, like, we should have done this, we should have done that. Like it was a regular season game. Even though it was preseason, he was treating it like a regular season game. And so like I said, our back line was doing well. Our midfield doing really well. Again, we didn't see Ilie start, as most of y'all noticed. But to see the new people in there take over, and it just seemed to work really well. Again, San Diego Loyal isn't a MLS side, but they have a lot of MLS players, former and current, on that place. So it's a good warm up leading up to it.
And a good warm up when we have to face teams that are going to simply counter us. And look to absorb and counter. We're going to have to expect that with the team that we have. And so it's good to play teams like this where there is a mismatch per se, because there's times we do get caught. We did get caught on one on this. So these are things you learn from. It's a good thing to go through this process. What I will say is to see how well Chiellini played tells you that he might even be ready for this weekend. Do not be surprised by that, and we'll get into that. Also, the other thing was there was one player that we saw in crutches. Tony, what did we see?
Eddie Segura just on the sideline crutches again, still rehabbing. So he's, as we said, he's still on the team, but not officially signed by the team. So I think he's just going to be more of an injury player moving forward. And once he's healthy, we'll probably sign him for a contract. And I guess the money's going to be right, most likely, with that.
That's what it sounds like. Of course, there's other names that were rumored, like Hindman, that has not been signed. And as you heard from Charandola today, will not be signed at the moment. That doesn't mean the door is completely shut there. But for now, this is what we've got. This is the squad that they're happy with, and this is what we're going to go with. So, that being said, let's definitely take a look at the roster right now. Your goalkeepers, again, it is definitely set. It's McCarthy with the start, Jakupovic and Krepu on reserve. That's what we're seeing for now.
I do have to say though, with this game, it is sad to see Crepo with a red card for this game.
He is suspended, isn't he? I think, right? Is he? I mean, does that count when you're on injured reserve? I don't know.
I believe it does. He's missing a game because yes, he's injured, but he's also got the red card. So if he was fit to sit on the bench, he can't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, it's okay. Let it burn that way. We'll get him back when we need him. We've got 2 competent goalkeepers to cover and one that's on a high right now. So I think we're okay. Looking at the center back situation, of course, that's our strongest point at this stage. You have Long, Chiellini, Murillo, Maldonado, and Leone. And they're looking ready. All of them looking ready. So we have options, and we'll get into the matchups against the Galaxy in a little while. But that's what we've got as our center backs. On the outside, of course, Palacios and Hollingshead are back. You'd have to imagine that that's who we're going to see on the outside. Of course, you have depth in Palencia, Gaines, and Dueñas, and everyone that I'm talking to about Palencia is very, very excited about what he's bringing to the table. And definitely what I got from it was he's a lot like Escobar, but better fit, faster, and ready. The experience isn't the same, but again, he's played pretty high level, so I think we're fine, and that's what we're hearing from the team. Now, midfield, of course, that's where the big questions were going into this and the concerns. It's still a work in progress, let's be honest, but they made a pretty darn good move towards the end there to kind of fill some gaps. And of course, we've got Acosta and Cifuentes and Ilie back again. Tillman and Crisostomo is in the mix as well. The revelation, of course, is Tillman and seeing how durable he is. Look at it this way. Latif left us as much as we love him, and we basically even traded for Tillman, who is also utility in midfield, but played an entire year in the Bundesliga, last year? Yeah, whether it's a relegated side or not, still earned minutes and earned respect, and highly, highly rated by our staff. So again, a strong one. Do I expect to see more coming there? Yes, but not at the very moment. Up top, of course, Bouanga, Apoko, and Vela are your leads. You do have Buke and Torres in there as well. I know we're all going, we're not done yet, right? Well, I would say this when you look at the lineup. Were we done yet at opening day last year? Honest question. And if we look at the lineup that we have now, this one current, related to last year opening day, I think we're in a healthier spot walking into this. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll throw it back to you, Bam. Opening day last year, opening day this year. We look pretty darn good, don't we? At least more filled out than we were last year.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But I'm going to say that this is our toughest opening day game that we've had.
Probably toughest for any club in league history. Coming off of the high of a cup into a cauldron of 80,000 people going mad, and probably most of them supporting you in a frigid, sleep-filled game with possible lightning. That's kind of an interesting way to ease into a new season with a star on your chest.
It is
kind of an interesting vibe. Yeah.
So with it, although we're currently undefeated in opening games, we've never lost an opening day game. This one, I'm the most nervous for. I'd say I'm the most nervous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like even our first ever one in Seattle, yeah, we were nervous, but at the same time, if we walked away with that without the win, it would have been expected.
It wasn't expected in Seattle though, but this
No,
one is,
no.
right? Yeah.
The fact that we won that game was no one besides us thought that we could do that in the whole league.
True.
So if we had lost that very first game, the whole league would have been like, "Yep, okay, carry on." But the fact that we won
But
that,
that's
we
not
won
the
every year.
case now.
No. Now this is the whole. We have to. If we don't walk away with a win, it's a loss. Whether it's a 3-3 draw, 2-2 draw, 0-0 draw, we don't walk away with a win, it's going to feel like a loss, and everyone in the league is going to be, they can be beaten.
Well, it's one of those cases, and we'll get into it in a little bit, where you have your opponent on the ropes. You know, if you demolish them this weekend, they have nothing left. Quite literally, their fans have turned everything, and it's bad news, right? All the way around. Even if they do get a result, no one's happy on their side anyway, you know? And so now you have a case where you can just basically dunk on them, right? Take them down. If you get cocky and they're able to hit you back and you're on the canvas, the questions everywhere, right? It's tough. But yeah, looking at the roster now, that's where the questions come about as well. When we look at this open day squad, well, are the holes filled? Are the holes filled? And that's the question. That's the accusations. That's the anger by some. But there's also the hard reality that in MLS, salary caps are pretty hard for the most part outside of those weird parameters. But guess what? Bonuses count against the cap too. And if all your guys are bonusing and they're all maxing rate, the bubble's going to burst. And we're in a bubble bursting situation. It seems pretty obvious that the talent we have, yeah, we're scraping the top. And so other parts have to move, I think, before we see new faces. And that's just the reality of being a champion in the unique situation, the unique league that is Major League Soccer. So I know we don't like it. We want to see more. We want to see it push forward. But sometimes, as an MLS side, you're limited by things. And this is that very moment where you're realizing, yep, we're an MLS side. This is MLS life. Here we go. And yeah, you know, that's our challenge going into it for sure. Thoughts on opening day roster, Araceli? Were surprises, expectations? Where are you at so far with it?
Not necessarily any expectations as far as, just kind of curious of how the new players are gonna, if they've been gelling well with the team and how they're gonna perform on Saturday, especially under high pressure as a game like the Rose Bowl. Obviously you guys can kind of answer to that a little bit more, and you kind of already did in a sense since you've been able to watch them, especially in the last match with the Loyal. But in terms of any surprises, I don't know if I want to label it as a surprise, but Ilie, that's where I'm kind of curious of, because I haven't heard much on him in regards to if he does have an injury or not. I know I did see him post from training, so a little curious on that situation, whether if he's going to be in the starting or not. But as far as everyone else, I'm kind of, I guess you can call this an expectation then, kind of the similar lineup in terms of Vela, Bawanga, Mahala up top, Chiellini, Hollingshead, in the back. I don't know. I
it's
said,
tough.
there are just a lot of questions, really. And I do want to expand real quick on the whole roster situation, because I did sit in on media day, and John Torrington was telling the media that in terms of the roster, the club is satisfied with the players that we have currently, that we are good salary cap wise, we're within the perimeters. However, he did note that he doesn't foresee any major changes as of now, but the club is considering options as the transfer window remains open. So we could potentially see some type of movement up until late April.
a long window, isn't it? Uh, it's pretty wild.
It's a very
And we
long
haven't heard
window.
about, yeah, we haven't heard about what the kids are going to do either with MLS next. That's still been pretty quiet too. But we know it's going to be the kids. Now, Tony, you were at the Performance Center a few days ago.
Mhm.
What did you see out there? Was there anybody missing, anybody hurt that we need to be concerned about?
No one was hurt besides Max. I didn't see Max there until I looked into the performing center and I saw him training inside. You're on Ilya. He was training. He was training with a little bit with the team and a little bit on the side as well. Same thing with Long. Long was also training, and then I saw him again training on one. So I think it was just more of a baby in them for a little bit and stuff like that. I can't say if Ilya has an injury because he looked in good, high hopes, good fortunes and everything. So there's nothing to report on that. I wish I could have shown you guys, but again, leading up to these days, like against Carson, any other training day, I would be like, oh, look who's training, blah, blah, blah. But as most of us know, during training, there are certain colors that you see. And when you see that, you know what's going on. So I wanted to give that to you guys. But again, I have to stay true to my club, to the trust they have in us. And I couldn't do that to you guys. So that's all I can say is everyone seems to be in good condition, healthy. The good thing I can tell you is that Vela is in very high spirits. Like you said, as you saw my picture on Instagram and I posted on our pod, is he was signing, which is a very rare sight, coming to us. So he's in high hopes. The team looks in high hopes. The training was there. You still saw, I saw Chiellini, talking back with one of the coaches about what we should do moving forward and about passing and all this stuff. So they're treating it like mid-season, we're ready, we're going. It's not like we won the championship, we can rest on our laurels. We're trying to get everything. We're trying to win everything. We're trying to go back to back.
Without a doubt, you could see that. I heard the same thing about Vela, that he came in to preseason already in season shape. So he had been working extra in the lead up to this because of the mission. And it wasn't like, well, I had a good time, I'm going to have a really good off season. It was, I had a good off season, but man, I want a better one next year. And that's what it's been said multiple times. So he's ready. Chiellini, of course, has got a full preseason with us, which is huge for him to build up his fitness. Yes, he's an older player. Yes, they're going to limit minutes, but he's in the best shape he's been in a very, very, very long time. Which is good news for us. Long appears healthy. Again, options are there. We can shift people around at this point. Starting, talking about the starters. We'll talk about those in a few minutes in terms of the match they're going to play. But you hear it. This is your roster. This is who we have, right? That's got to sink in. This is what we're going with in the near future. And a hat drop, you have to wait. This is not coming out right away. That is for certain. All right, looking forward. Of course, there was the kit release as well. Yep, it's out. It's called the Smokescreen Kit. It is green. 42 originals. Merry Christmas to you. This is the match of matches. I saw a lot of you guys buying shirts. It was pretty darn cool to see. We had some good conversations too, and that was fun. I'm digging it now that I've seen it in person. I think it's better quality than last year's kit. The fact that the stripes are stitched in and not glued in was a huge change from last season. It looks way more durable, I'll be honest. And that's nice too. Of course, the new Adidas logo kind of brings you into the century, right? And so it's a good vibe. Tony, did you make a purchase as well, sir?
I did not. The line was pretty long. I got there early enough to see it, but unfortunately, money's tight, especially with everything. I'm eventually going to get it. As also, if you bought a jersey, you got a special gift, which is the cup. A little miniature one, which was surprising to all of us. Some people on Twitter were saying it should have been the season gift, but this was a good incentive to buy this kit. Honestly, I love the kit. It's a really cool It's a really cool. And also moving forward, I think it's until 2030. Adidas has re-signed with MLS, so we're going to continue on with Adidas for another 8 more years. 6 more years,
It's a
something like that.
long time.
Yeah. So, but it was a good, but more money's going into the league because of it. So expect more and more and everything like that. But overall, the Smoke Kit is in person. It's not what you think.
No.
There's a lot of people who were surprised, like that were like, "Oh, I don't think I'll buy it," ended up buying it. Again, this was literally 420's kits, as you said earlier. Also, authentic and replica are two different things, people. I want to get this 100% clear. If you get the replica, you don't get the Ford patch on the side, and I don't think you get the MLS patch on the side, because on Joseph's one, which is the authentic one, you get the Ford, the star, and then also the MLS patch with the cup in it. So just remember that when you're purchasing it moving forward.
Also, the jock tag, actually, World City World's Game, only applies to the authentic. So basically, you get a bare bones kit. It will have the team logo, it'll have Adidas, it'll have Flex, and that's it. That's what you get. It's super basic. And I got that for my kids. Hopefully I can run down a couple stars and add them to it. But that is where we're at right now. That's what the replicas are. The differences, like Tony says, are pretty insane. I did like a comment that Scarf gave to me at the stadium, is that these kits, and he's right, these kits look better on fans than they do on players. They actually do. It fits casual clothing way better than it fits the shorts and socks they matched it with. Real talk on that. You'll see it as the season progresses that it looks better in the stands than on the field. You'll also notice in the games, if it's a really light colored grass, you kind of blend in. Yeah, green screen vibes, right? It does do that a bit. So we'll see how that develops as we go, but I did notice that as well. All right, but you guys, let's be honest, you guys aren't here to talk about kits and all that. You got other stuff you want to talk about. And so let's get some reactions from you guys. We're not going to, the first reactions we're going to cover, it's going to be about, again, the lead up, our squad. We'll get into the Galaxy in a little bit, and dunk all we want in the lead up to that, because we're going to go a little heavy when we talk about them after the community drop. So definitely join the conversation. Give us your heads up on it. We want to get some reactions from you guys regarding these subjects, of course. So let's see. There's only not a whole lot of comments, but enough of them for you guys. Burke's on here. He says 2 more sleeps. Right. We've got, he talks about Carson kits. I mean, we could mention that for the moment because we're talking kit drop. It says, think the idea for Carson kits are cool. League should do more one-off kits for big events. Hoping LSC get a rad kit next season for the Derby. Yeah, home. I guess home will be the story for us next time. I will say for the Galaxy's away kit, I mean, they were definitely hybriding off of the city flag. Home jersey from years past, but not close enough to the Rose Bowl jerseys. I got to be honest. So it's a little bit of a hybrid vibe for those guys. Take it for what it is. That's what they did. I know, honestly, I'll still take our kits any day above what those look like. But at least they tried, I guess. You could say.
I think Bert's talking about the roses. Like their home kit has roses on. I think that's the one he's talking about.
I don't think they're going to wear those in the game, though. I think that's just an auction.
No,
I think that's I don't think they're going to wear those on the field.
No, it's an auction one. I remember, what was it, like 2 years ago or a year ago? They did like LAFC had that like crazy like eagle, or the eagle with our black jerseys that one year, and then Carson had that.
Yeah, remember we'd had to walk around the stadium and you could get it on. Yeah, and they would iron on parts for you, whatever you preferred to customize.
Yeah.
And then I remember one year they were like, there was one of the kit drops where they were painting, I think, like on the kits or something like that live, and you could get customized that way. So we've done some activations that way. But yeah, I think I've got like some doilies in the house or towels that we use for like tortillas and stuff that definitely look like their jerseys. I'm just saying, not talking smack, but real talk. I've seen some stuff in that, some towels in the house that definitely have flowers stitched like that. Yeah. So I get it. I like special edition stuff too. I would really like a third kit at one point since we have this massive deal with Adidas, just for these, the special matches. It would be really cool to see. Daniel Onhill is on here. He's asking us, are we going Saturday? I will be there Saturday. Tony, will you be there?
I will be there.
There you go. Bam is halfway across the world, so that'll be a little tough unless he shows up and surprises us. Yeah. Are you Bam? Are you gonna surprise us out of nowhere and show up in Pasadena? I don't know.
If flights weren't over $1,500 return, if flights weren't stupid at the moment, and if my passport hadn't just expired, then yes, sure.
There you go. And Araceli, you're gonna be busy, right? That weekend or this weekend?
I will be. I'll be holding the fort down here. I was actually supposed to be in town for that game, but after hearing everything about the weather, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, I guess, that I'm not gonna be there. So, good luck.
I'm gonna say this, and Bam can vouch for me. We win home openers when it hails, and when there's sleet coming down, right, Bam? That's a good omen for victory. Yeah,
it's a great omen.
Yeah. Just ask the Sounders. Little halftime entertainment, you could say. Except this time there's no roof to protect us, so there goes that too.
I mean, in all fairness, anytime LAFC comes here to KC, it's almost always raining at those games, and we've seen past results, so you're not wrong.
We dig the weather. We dig the weather. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, it's Gibbles in the mix. There he is. Burke is going. He says he's going. Wolf is in the mix as well. Daniel Hill says he is resting his voice, planning clothing layers and busting out hiking boots. Yeah, I am actually wearing my boots too. Actually, it's a lot of stuff I wore to Dortmund. It gets rehashed, people. Good vibes. Good vibes. Oscar El Coyote is here. All love, brother, man. Nice to see you on there. Jose Bernal, another brother in the mix, on as well. Edgar Corral, I think we answered your question, Ilie. Nothing about injury. He was training, so we can leave it at that. He was training. Yeah, so we got that. Mr. Velez is on as well. He says team is looking good, like the healthy competition in every position. It quite literally is competition in every position. I would say this, talking about the striker position. I didn't say it much, but you remember that time when BWT would switch out with our other forwards like Vela, and they would take turns and just kind of make it all funky. Look forward to that. I think we're going there again. Let's see who else we got. Edge was asking about Hindman. All I can say on that one, and I'll throw it out there because I don't want to throw it to Tony on kind of outing anybody that was in training. He can't do that. As far as I know, the chapter isn't closed, but it's not open for this weekend is the vibe I'm getting. So we don't know yet. But I from what I understood, it's not a goodbye, see you later situation that we might still see that move happen. But again, scraping that line, Hinman ain't cheap. Something's got to get funky. So,
but that being said, though, he may not play this weekend, but there's nothing saying that the club won't put an announcement up within the next 48 hours going, hey, we signed him.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I just know that I know enough to know that I wouldn't write the deal off.
And we all know LFC like doing hat box drops around this time of night anyway.
Well, I mean, the other side tends to give us the overnight surprise. Always the overnights, they need the drama, people. We've never done an overnight surprise. I'm just saying. We've never needed to, but you never know. I don't think it's happening. David Day helping us out with hit the like. Why am I so bad at that, guys? I have no idea. Daniel Angel, yeah, we missed you last live, but you're here now. Oh, Jeremy wants to know about field condition in the rain. We'll cover that in a few minutes. It is a football field after all, but it's been resting. So, yeah, it's good. It's good. Let's see who else we got. All right, so it looks like the comments are good for now. We're gonna move on to community news, so we can get into the thing y'all want to talk about. And of course, that is opening day. So I'm gonna throw this one over to our brother, who travels and works and goes everywhere and is always nonstop. That's right, Tony. Give us some community news, my friend, because I know you got a lot of it.
Oh yes, I do. As well, today I would have posted it in the community news, but I posted it most of it in Empire Boys. Empire Boys had a meet and greet today. I was going to go to it, but I had other plans moving forward. So I'm unfortunately sorry, Empire Boys. I wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit before the pod, but unfortunately time restraints couldn't allow me to do that. But this coming tomorrow, Banderazo at February 24th, which will be from 7 till 10, held at Black and Gold Bar and Grill at 7616 South Vermont Avenue, Los Angeles. All ages are welcome, but I have to say this really quick. Space is limited. It's a very small venue. We have to go work with fire marshals and everything. So if you're planning on getting there to go to this, get there early so you can get in and have fun, because these are the best things to do to get hyped right before the game. If you can make it out there, and then, depending on the weather moving forward, it should be fun. So again, all ages are welcome from 7 to 10. I will try to make it out there as well. But again, space is very limited. I just got to make sure to say that. Before we get into what we need to get to for the Rose Bowl and expectations, if you cannot make it, there are watch parties that are going around the whole of Los Angeles. So we'll start with the first watch party, which is Lola Gas Bar at 211 West South Street, Santa Ana. It'll be at 6:30 p.m. The next one will be at Distro 14, 1837 East 1st Street, Los Angeles, at 6:30 as well. Shannon's on Pine, 209 Pine Avenue, Long Beach. The next one is Underdog Sports Bar at 156 South Brand Boulevard, Glendale, California. And of course, Progressive Brewery. Whoa, I think I would have that on lock. Were there? Progressive Brewery at 9624 El Ponche Street, South El Monte, California. And there is actually one more for the people out in San Diego, which will be at the San Diego Tap Room at 2000 El Cajon Boulevard in San Diego, California. So if you cannot make it to this big event, or you also want to stay dry and be part of your brethren around you, these are the events to go to.
There we go. Yeah, Progress Brewing is pretty cool. I know it's now the official bar for Black Army. They've been good. They've been good to us. Yeah. So if you can make it out to one of those viewing parties, please do so. I know not everybody can get into the Rose Bowl for this thing. I know there's there are some tickets still left. But it's a little complicated. I get it. So if you want to be indoors in the warmth and not braving it like us, still meet. The vibes are needed, guys. We need everybody singing. I don't care where you are. It's beautiful. Do it. The community is strong. All right, Tony, do you want me to get into the Rose Bowl intel, or you want to fire these bad boys off?
Yes, Araceli?
I just want to squeeze in another quick little announcement here before we go into a deep dive of the Rose Bowl. Just want to give a shout out to two of our LAFC Academy products, Christian Diaz and Javen Romero. They have both qualified for the 2023 FIFA U17 World Cup in Peru. Diaz got the national call-up for the U.S., whereas Romero got a call-up from Mexico. So congrats to them. And hey, our academy is killing it, especially with these national call-ups lately.
future stars of CONCACAF. This is good. This is good. Feeling both Mexico and the United States. Dig that. Again, world's game, world city. Just proving it once again through the academy. Thank you, Araceli, for that. Man, good news. Yes, Tony.
All right, let's get into the Rose Bowl. These are the important things before the game, so I'll just get it out of the way. If you have supporter tickets, take the bus. It's going to get really packed in there, as most of you know. It's one way in, one way out. It's usually a 2-hour wait when you drive there to get out after a game for any event there in the Rose Bowl. So if you do have supporter tickets, take the bus. If you cannot make the bus, then shuttle in, park in Pasadena. There'll be a shuttle to shuttle you in and stuff like that. Now, if you are going to tailgate, be careful. And I say this in the most like promising way. Be careful, because security will be there and try to take care of everything, but it's such a big parking lot that they can't see eyes on everything. So if you know they're protesting this, Carson fans are notorious for doing stupid stuff. So be careful, be safe, and that is for the pre thing. I know there's going to be some tailgates out there. Oh, that's the other thing too. There will be a tailgate for the supporters, but if you do not go on the bus, you cannot enter. I'm sorry to say that is the rules and regulations for this event, because it's not our home game. At the end of the day, this is Carson's home game, so we do not usually tailgate on away days. Again, there are away days that we get invited to and we tailgate with people, but this is not a home game, even though it is in Pasadena and it's no one's home. It's Carson, so again, be careful. Also, if you don't want to drive there or take a shuttle, don't forget to take the metro. Use your LAFC tap card and take the metro in to make it easier for yourself.
And there will be a shuttle from Parsons, I believe, that can take you down. But do realize those will be mixed shuttles. That'll be supporters from both sides. So again, head on a swivel. Be careful about that. Now, in terms of the parking situation, if you are going to drive, please be sure to park on the north side of the Rose Bowl. That's like lot 1, lot 6, the golf course parking lots. Go north. Okay. South will be dominated by Galaxy fans. They have a soccer fest down there, lot A. Gate A is where their supporters are going in. Our supporters are lot 1A, gate N, north side. Okay. So think about it that way. The north side of the stadium, LAFC. North end, what a shock, right? South end will be them. If you happen to be in a section that is designated for the other team, there will be escorts moving you out elsewhere. Okay, that is how strict it's going to be. They will relocate you as long as they have enough relocation tickets. But after that, you're on your own. You're still going to get moved. Just good luck. So you and I both know, I'm talking to you, faithful. This is the Rose Bowl. Nothing goes as planned. Ever. Okay? It looks cool for the first 20 minutes. Everything goes smooth. And then after that, ask Tony when we went to the Juve game. Things go sideways. Right, Tony?
It went sideways.
Always.
Yeah. Even at the Mexico game, when I went with Tilo, it went like we got there late and it still went sideways. So
there's no Wi-Fi down there. Cell phones barely work. If you haven't downloaded ahead of time, you're going to be in trouble there too. Prepare ahead. Of course, the least stressful thing is the bus if you have a supporter section ticket. Sadly, like Tony said, you can't get into the buses if you don't have the supporter section ticket. I do know there's some things moving around. I don't want to quote them because they're getting it put together. People who are not in the North End are technically what we're calling the North End for this game. They don't have that supporter specific ticket. They're working things out to try to do things and tailgate beforehand, but it's going to be as close to lot 1A as you can. Like I said, lot 1A is going to be pretty much closed off. Even hearing that those who take the bus can't leave it and come back, that's how tight it is. Not a fan of that either, but it's life. That is what's going on. Just get as close to that north gate as you can, wherever you're parking. Closer you get, the better, the less chance for shenanigans. That is where we're at. Now, in terms of parking lots opening up, they will not open till 12:30. Really? Yeah, 12:30. That's kind of close. Fan Fest for the Galaxy fans begin at 1:30. That's not our Fan Fest, guys. Beware. 4:30, the gates open to go into stadium. I do know that supporters are probably going to be a little earlier than that because of the way they move people in and out. And those supporters, if you're on that list and you know what you're doing, please follow the messages that you're getting and do that specifically. We're not going to broadcast everything going on with that. That's a safety issue. But if you're in the conversation, please check your emails. Don't get left out in the cold. You know where to park. You've been instructed to do so. Follow through. Kickoff is 6:30. Warm-ups are 5:45. That is what they're saying on that end. Tony, anything else you want to add into the conversation regarding the Rose Bowl?
Just be safe out there. Again, there's a lot of people treating it like it's going to be just a fun home kind of game. I'm going to do this. Again, this is a very dangerous game. And I say that in not like, oh, like, things are going to happen, but things do get sideways. Again, drinking is involved, hot heads are involved, things can happen. And especially at the Rose Bowl, for some reason, something about the Rose Bowl and fights always happen. I saw it even with Mexico fans one-on-one, and we were winning. So
it happens. Yeah.
Exactly. So just be safe. Be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of what's going on. And also, as much as I like, try not to have any LAFC memorabilia on your cars if you can avoid it, because some Carson fans will be looking at that to try to, take advantage and, bust some heads open, unfortunately.
It happens, guys. Be careful with your vehicles as well. Cover things up if necessary. I mean, it sounds crazy, but again, you don't have the control of Exposition Park. You don't have the control of, Dignity, where everything's fenced off and controlled. They're trying, but this is 80,000 people. It's a different monster. And so it's one heck of a first run, I gotta say. A rivalry match, throwing 80,000 people together, and kind of shoestringing this thing and being, well, this will work. This is good enough. Yeah, don't be that guy. Don't get caught up in it. I also understood. I've heard this several times. For those of you guys that like, fireworks and all that other fun stuff, guess what? Pasadena police, they don't mess around. They fine. They arrest. Even if you don't light it, they arrest because you're in a fire danger area. Yeah, you're down there. You're in Arroyo Seco. It's different. It's not the city, guys. This is different. You will be prosecuted. They will not hesitate. It's a different animal that we're dealing with. So just be mindful of that. Don't take things into your own hands and then mess it up for everybody else. Be smart about this thing and let's get the win. I think that's ultimately where we're at. Also, first 50,000 fans apparently are receiving a commemorative season opener patch. I can only say that it's a Galaxy home game, so you probably know the vibe on that one. Parking gates, we already told you where those open. Prepaid parking, okay, $45 prepaid, 55 day of event. So be mindful of that. Pay in advance. Check your emails if you've got a ticket. Access, like I said, download ahead of time. And that's pretty much the Rose Bowl situation, right, Tony?
Yep, that's pretty much it. Just that, and have a good time as much as we can. This is their event. Be safe, and let's, before we get into the lead up to the game, let's get into the Vinyl Club Minute.
Yeah, let's get some music going on. What have we got, Bam?
Well, I know you put down Stone Roses, but I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to do, I'm going to go with an Australian band called Rose Tattoo.
Ooh,
and I'm going to go with one of their songs that was off the Scarred for Life album back in 1982, called "We Can't Be Beaten."
Ooh,
that's what I'm going with. With part of the chorus is "Shoulder to shoulder, we're gonna stand. We're gonna fight to the very last man." Can't be defeated. Don't know the word. Shoulder to shoulder will fight the world.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. We're not getting too confident here.
No, but
I went Stone Roses obviously because of the band name, and there's a lot of cool songs. But I like that one. I'll take that
for
one.
me, it's more the whole. This is the mindset we've got to go in. We've got to go in the whole shoulder to shoulder, which we as a club always represent. Go in there that we can't be beaten. We beat these guys in playoffs. We can beat them during this season. That's what we got to go in with.
I wouldn't mind wearing a black rose. I'll just throw that out there too. Just saying. Just saying. The symbolism is a beautiful thing. So shout out to Defenders for that as well. Synergy, people. Synergy. There you go. All right. You win. We're going to do that one. I dig it. All right. Let's move on. We've got you set up for Pasadena. You've got your Vinyl Club minute. Yeah, that's right. It's time to talk about MLS opening day. That's right. The league is open for business. Preseason is over. It's not just about us. It's about the league. Yes, we're going about us, but let's talk about a few things that have popped up so you guys can discuss it as well. Tony, what have we got to talk about for opening day, sir?
So, of course, as most of you who already have Apple TV have noticed all the coverage that's been going on recently, it is free for the week. And also remember, you can watch this game for free if you even don't have the package, because all games this week are free. There are some cool new moments. There is I think it's called Game Changers episode for the Vela, which transitions into Chicharito. And I saw that for a second and I didn't even watch that one. But it does talk about Vela and everyone talking about him, how he is, and like what was leading up to it. Also, they talk about our season leading up to it. So that is good. Again, if you don't have it, I suggest you do it. It's not that expensive. We've seen your bar tabs at away days, at tailgates. You can afford it. I know money's tight, but when it comes to beer and everything else, I've seen those. So let's go with just, begin to up. Again, there's a lot of things to watch. You'll see our friend Joseph and Jimmy in prime time talking about certain things. So again, not that expensive. You can afford this. Before we get into a playoff format that we do, let's go with some rumors about San Diego and Vegas coming in soon.
Yep.
They want to add those teams. I think probably I would say San Diego is going to be the next team. For Vegas, I actually have some news on that one because of my friend. Aston Villa has put a bid into getting that. They've already also trademarked their name, which will be called the Villains. So that could be a possibility. So with that said, what do you guys think of San Diego and Vegas coming into the league?
I'm all about it. I want a Sacramento team too, so we can create our own division in California. Road trips aplenty, people. No, I'm happy about all of it. It should have happened a long time ago, as far as I'm concerned. We're here. It's good. Details about San Diego we'll hear pretty soon, I think. I think that one's moving fast. In terms of the Villains, don't give me Chivas USA vibes, people. When you create a facsimile of a team from far, far away, it's not the greatest situation in the world. I can throw this to Bam, right, Bam?
Yeah, that's true. But as long as and I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a bit, if they go the route of Citigroup or if they go the route of 777, that would be interesting. If they do it that way, then yeah, that's more understandable. I'm going to say, I reckon Vegas comes in first. I'm going to go against you guys. I'm going to go Vegas comes in first because Vegas has been talked about for a lot longer than San Diego. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to say Vegas comes in first, and then a year later, they bring in San Diego and Detroit.
Detroit, man.
Bring one in from the east.
Oh.
Bring one in from the east. Try and have it so it's 16-16. All that. And going from some other parts of the conversations I've been having on some Discords and all that, a lot of them saying that Detroit's been screaming out for a team.
I mean, it's come up before. There's some history there. You do have Detroit City FC, which is very unique and fun and awesome. But man, I can't see them being the ones to go in because they're so independent. I think it would be a movement that would push them out, which would be terrible. I wouldn't root for it if that was the case, but we'll see. I'm gonna disagree with you on the San Diego Vegas thing simply because San Diego has a functional stadium, and Vegas would have to build one, and it would be next level cool, and that takes longer to do. So I just think because of structure, I would think San Diego would move quicker. I do.
Yeah, but see, I can see with Vegas them borrowing Raiders Stadium until their stadium is built.
Yeah, could
Because
happen.
because what's happening during the off season in that stadium?
Nothing. Concerts.
Get some,
You know.
get some rent.
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, we've seen how successful Atlanta's been, right? Playing in a football stadium. So could see that. Well, all I know is it's all good things if it happens. We all win, I think, in this case.
But also, too, let's not forget about Phoenix, because I know they were mentioned for a long time as well. Look, there's no secret that Garber has wanted to extend the league to 30 teams. He's been saying this for years now. And if memory serves me right, it has always been between Vegas, Phoenix, and San Diego. And just yesterday, he did a media day in the new MLS Season Pass studios, which looks very nice, by the way. But in that, he did mention it, that they are still in talks with Vegas and San Diego, and they are hoping to have the 30th team announced sometime by the end of this year. And even when he reaches 30, he's still open to the idea of even adding more teams. So could Vegas be the next one? Could San Diego be the next one? Either way, I still see them both joining at one point or another. I still wouldn't count out Phoenix unless there's been something going on that I haven't heard of. But in regards to that, I think San Diego could potentially be next. And I want to go back real quick to when Tony was talking about the MLS Season Pass. I do want to throw out there, if you are a T-Mobile customer, T-Mobile is giving the MLS Season Pass for free to all customers. So if you have T-Mobile, download the app and claim the pass. I believe it'll be on the app till March 14th.
Yeah, it definitely is. Man, T-Mobile subscribers are just getting hooked up left and
That's
right.
how I got it.
Baseball.
So
They got baseball too, I think. I mean, it's pretty amazing what they're doing. But yeah, a little jealous. But hey, I got season tickets, so I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, right. Tony's like, yep. So, hey, the access is there. If you want to watch MLS, it isn't hard to watch it now. It isn't. And there's still going to be on-air stuff. We're in a great situation. All right, Tony, I'll let you be Debbie Downer and talk about the playoff format. You may begin, sir.
So, as most of you know, and most of you have debated on social media of how good, how bad this is, I personally do not like this. This is NBA, US, everything wrong with it because, again, this is football. This is not what we do. You know what I mean? We're already doing a playoff system to crown a champion, which is usually the second cup, not the main cup, but now that's our main cup. So, following decision day, October 21st, a pair of single elimination wild card matches will now be played ahead of an enhanced round one, which includes a best of 3 series. The submarine stage of conference semifinals and conference will continue to only be single elimination format, ending in the MLS Cup, presented by Audi, December 9th. The higher seed hosts throughout. The first 2 seconds will be decided by penalty kicks. So there's a playoff for the last spot. So that means, and I say that means,
Carson gets in the playoffs.
Exactly. Let's give Carson another chance to not miss playoffs, because this is what we saw. The second year we are in a team. Oh, we expanded it into 8 teams with one getting a bye now. Now we have an 8 and 9 team to play a one game to decide if they get in. And now we do a best of 3 for the first round, which is unheard of. I can understand a best of 2, home and home, but then what do you do for the third game? Who hosts the third home game? Is it the higher seed? Is it the lower seed, or the one who has the most goals? It doesn't make sense to me.
I think the way they've got it is so the MLS and Apple's dream come true. We finished top in the West. Carson makes through the playoff. Oh, we play them 3 times. It goes bank, Carson, bank. That's how it's going to go. Which now, with this new playoff format, this is how I feel about it. This empty bottle is a playoffs. Here's the bin.
Right? Barely any comment needed. It's absurd. Again, we're talking about December 9th now for MLS Cup. Back to this nonsense again. December 9th. Who wants to go to Philadelphia? Pray tell, they're the top seed. Who wants to go to Philadelphia in December? Does anybody in this conversation really, outside of whether our team is there or not, would you want to go on vacation in December in Philadelphia? Anybody?
Let's just not even talk about Philadelphia, just East Coast in general in December.
Yeah. Well, Cincinnati, because apparently they've rebuilt their squad.
Yeah.
They got something going right now. Or even New York, mid-December. Yeah, nobody's liking this. They're all going to hope that we're the top seed. That's what it's going to be.
Well, not only just East Coast. He wants to go to Canada in December.
Oh, God.
Dude, Montreal.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Can we go to Miami?
You might actually see a real aurora while you're playing in your cup final.
Can we go to Miami instead? It'd be a little bit warmer.
Well, I mean, they made extra seeds for them, so they'll probably be there.
Yeah.
Just have Miami as the default city.
Yeah.
This is
if it goes East Coast default. Yeah. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This will be like one season and I think done, right? When it's all backups playing in a cup final because everyone's burnt out. Yeah, I'm not digging it at all. I know you guys aren't either. We could dwell on it, but forget it. We got bigger fish to fry, and of course that is the match on Saturday against, you guessed it, Carson, by way of Pasadena. 6:30 p.m. kickoff time, Apple TV for free. Be there, be square. Watch it if you need to on Apple TV. Have fun with it. There's going to be a whip around show for the rest of the league. So if you get an access, which you're not going to get at the Rose Bowl, but hey, you can watch everything this weekend. But that's us. We got to play them. 6:30 is not a bad time unless it's, sleet and snow. What? Yeah, that could be happening, or lightning bolts. It's going to get funky. Now, the matchup, pretty straightforward. We can't even talk about the matchup without actually talking about the situation that Carson is in. You need a backstory before you actually talk about it, because there's more than a match going on right now. A whole lot more. Bounds laugh at me because it's like, you're loving every second of this torture. I am. I really am. I'm loving every little bit of it. It's beautiful. I'm all about the Schadenfreude. I dig it. So let's go there. So they're in controversy right now. Apparently their supporters won't be there. It's not like we would have noticed them anyway. What a shock there. But here you go. And guess what? Their club doesn't notice them, and that's the problem that we're dealing with right now. Right? That is the real issue, which we could have told them years ago that that's who you're rooting for. But now they're living the life. So here's the deal. Controversy, of course, started when Galaxy president Chris Klein, as technical director, got busted and suspended through the 2023 primary transfer window. Oh, yeah, for cheating on a deal for Pavone and misstating how much it cost. And he was an actual DP, even though it looked like he was a loan deal. Shady. Shame on everybody. Dennis Teclos, former Chivas USA boss man. He also took the axe for this as well, even though he's nice and comfortable in the Netherlands. And he can't even come back to MLS without submitting an application. So that's right. Also, $1 million fine, $1 million loss of general allocation money. Basically, they got slammed, but not slammed enough. Okay. So they got shamed for doing things that, let's be realistic about things, it's never been quite that honest from that side. But I guess in this case, since we're a growing league and there's more than one owner owning 4 teams, some accountability came into place. So there you go. That is the case. Add into the fact that we're successful, they're not. You can only live in the past for so long. I guess their fans have had enough. Did I say it right, Bam? Was that pretty much where we're at right now?
Yeah, I think that all 20 of them have had enough of it. But to me, it's great over there. It looks like a nice little holiday over there. There's nothing to see over there. It's all good, guys. Just turn it down a little bit. There's no reason to protest. Just come into the stadium, sit down, be quiet. As thanks to our brothers over at Shoulder to Shoulder tweet out before, one of the players came out and said, I think our team mentality, and definitely my mentality, is we don't care who's in the stands. Do
Man.
you know which player of there said that?
Raheem?
The snake himself.
Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. He probably wants to go to Toronto now and probably scream about the Galaxy when he's all said and done when he gets in Toronto. He is who he is, dude. He's not always all there. We know this. I think Vandy's comments kind of hurt them too, right? Oh, they'll get over it. I mean, that's not exactly how he said it, but very much felt like it'll smooth. They don't get it.
To
never
me,
did.
Chris Klein's been doing a wonderful job over at Carson. I don't understand this whole pressure of get rid of him, Klein out. Klein has to stay in. He's what is good for that team. He needs to stay in, keep his job. He's doing great for the team. Keep it up, Klein. You're doing a great job.
I like this, like a Supreme Court justice, man. He's getting the job done. It should be a lifetime appointment with statue as well. Maybe we'll build one out of cheese for him at one point. Because it's so fitting and it would smell really good in their river. Yeah, they're in trouble. They don't get it. They never have, people. This is nothing new. It's just, I think now that we are where we are, reality is set in. As they were pointing at us calling Chivas USA, they turned into Chivas USA and went, wait, what? We're in this mix? Yeah. So that's what this is. So there'll still be a lot of fans being there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Galaxy fans there, but their supporters, I guess, are doing the watch party vibe. And yeah, like the one more reason to be careful outside the stadium. And so here we are. Tony, you're pointing your finger. What do you got, man?
This is where I'm, again, could care less about what's going on over there. I'm happy that's they're going through whatever they're going through and they only care about money and everything like that. But I'll say it in my final say more on it as well. This is where supporters are supporters and this is where fans are fans. Yes, when we were angry at our head office and our team, we didn't say we're not going to show up. We're going to show up, but we're going to make you hear of and realize that we're not going to do what we usually do and show you what we're going to do. You're not supporting your team. And I understand the head office is not doing what you need to do, but as supporters, you still need to support your team and be there and show that you're still there with them. You know what I mean? Besides the snake, because we all know he doesn't have loyalties with anybody. All he cares about what's in his back pocket and moving forward. But for the players that do care about their supporters and put out effort for them, why don't you do it for them at the end of the day? You know what I mean? You already paid for this ticket. You've already paid for your season tickets. So you're not hurting them. Yes, merchandise is hurting them. But again, if you look at merchandises throughout the leagues, and it shows, if you are successful, your merchandise sells a lot faster if you're unsuccessful. Carson hasn't been successful in the past since we've been here. So their merchandise hasn't been done as well unless it's a big name like Zlatan. Chicharito, when he first came in, yes. But after that, I don't see that many Galaxy hats, jerseys around unless it's Chicharito or Zlatan.
And that also brings up the Pavone situation because you're in such a hurry to get a big name out there that it's funky for you to finish out the roster and be competitive, right? You're going to skate it through because you've now created this drug, right? Where I have to have a star player for me to feel like my team's got this. there's no patience. It's got to be the instant gratification. And now you're here where you're not pulling those guys. Those guys, like Mr. Bale, went to us. He could have gone to them for more money. Let's be honest. He didn't. He came for cheap for us.
Ilie.
Right? Ilie. He was going to go there. I'm hearing for more money. He chose the competitive side. Right? There's ways teams do business. Right? Where they take advantage of places they're in and then they lose track of it. And now we're here. This is why they're in trouble, is they were so used to being the team that was the default. They're going to come here anyway. Now they're not. LAFC for the moment, and I will say that for the moment, is the default. But that can be lost too. If anything, for black and gold, we need to look at what they're doing and make sure our club doesn't walk down that path. Right? So be mindful of this. We can laugh at them. I do. But we still need to hold our own side accountable so it never heads down that street. If anything, take it as a cautionary tale going forward. Do I feel sorry for them? No. I know there's a lot of history with me and those guys, but yeah, it's the beast they've created, and they're gonna have to fix it and find their own way out of it. We'll see what they do. On our end, again, we hold our own side accountable and we do the best we possibly can, and we follow through as supporters as we always do. And so that is that with the situation. Now back to the football, because that's what we truly love to talk about. Tony, for the Galaxy, how has their preseason gone? Because really the preseason and the football doesn't really match the banter, right? I mean, there's something going on over there.
Yeah, like I said, they had 4 preseason games. They won 2, they lost 2. They won against St. Louis 4-1. They lost against Portland 4-1. They lost to the Red Bulls 1-0, and they lost to Toronto 2-1. Again, it's preseason. They're still as us. We didn't even win a game, and look where we ended up. Preseason doesn't say that. It's again, they're trying to figure out what their lineup is. From the buildup, from everything they're saying, that Chicharito finally has what he has to make him the best player around him, which is he needs a facilitator, and they had that in what's his name? Can you from Barcelona B?
Oh,
Puig.
Puig.
Yeah,
Puig. It's Puig.
Puig. Yeah, Puig. And so he has a facilitator in Puig moving forward. But we'll get into their lineup moving forward. But again, preseason doesn't tell you too much. Again, it's just showing, and we couldn't even see most of them.
I mean,
So
the one that we did get to see, though, right? We did see Toronto, right? If you have Apple TV Plus, you got to watch that, which I was surprised we got to watch that. And if you did watch it, I think it said more about Toronto than it said about the Galaxy. Kind of the Galaxy went through the motions doing what they do. Had one really nice one. But really it was more of a story of Toronto. Just they're in trouble right now. It's not looking really good over there. And I think that was more of the story. Yes, a lot of faces have changed. They've lost about 4 decent players at the Galaxy and haven't done a whole lot to replace, except today and a few days past. Now we're starting to see some motion right before kickoff. And probably that won't be a big effect on our game, but they have made some okay moves, but they're still in a work in progress. Now, looking at the lineup, seeing who they have. Remember, they've lost 2 center backs pretty much, but this is what they got. Bond is back in goal. No shock there. Good starter, does his job, right? Klinsmann is the backup. Lopez is the third string. Same. Okay. We go on the left. Edwards is the starter. Gasper is your backup on the left side. The right side, and this is where it gets interesting, right? Araujo left, went to Barcelona. That was, again, another soap opera, but they got through it. Deal happened. In the moment, it's Leerdam, but apparently they're getting a Brazilian by the name of Caligari. I can't say he's going to be ready for us, so probably Leerdam is who we're going to face. Am I right in that, Bam? That seems like the obvious. All right, the center back situation. It's looking like it's going to be Mavinga and Caceres. But behind that, you'd have Neil Zavaleta. They brought him in too. Koulibaly, Furcranus. I know, right? It's a little weaker than past. It is. There's a lot of names there, right? but I think we've got some weaknesses there. I think that's pretty obvious. Now, starting midfield is strong. Let's be real. This was a bear for everybody towards the end of the season last year. We handled in the playoffs, but others didn't, and they kind of found their way in it. You have Puig, like we welcome, like we said, he's going to be there. He's going to be trouble for us. You have Delgado, who really controls well when he plays against us. Not going to be easy. And then Brugman was the story for them. I think they were lost in the woods, right, until they brought Brugman in to work with Puig, and that was huge for them, very huge for them. And so that's going to be trouble. That's where we're going to have a real battle, that midfield. They do have Alvarez, Aguirre, and Saldana as your backups in those positions. Yeah, I mean, to me, their midfield looks like it should be. I wouldn't worry too much about that if I were them. Now, up top's another story. Chicharito, of course, is your natural striker. He's backed up by Joveljic, which is probably one of the most deadly super subs in the league. And then Judd beyond them. On the right wing, you'd probably have Alvarez with Costa. It sounds funny saying Costa as a backup as a DP, but there you go. And Perez. Left side would be Memo, followed by recent signing Boyd and Mutatu. Okay. Left side, I'm not sure. We do know that Chicharito is now hurt. He'll not feature against us. Caligari, of course, won't feature. I'm not sure how ready Boyd's going to be, even though he's been in training with them. So he has had time with them. But that is what they're looking at. It almost looks like it's a 4-3-3 versus a 4-3-3 situation, except their midfield operates a little bit differently. It should be interesting for them. To me, I think they're fine. They're a few pieces away from being a playoff side, and they are not done yet. But once that deadline hits in April, right? Araceli, April?
Yeah,
Then
about
they're
late
out.
April. I think like April 27th, if I remember right.
So they have until then to work some more magic, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they can do. And then after that, it's a very long summer and winter where they can't do much. They're limited unless they make moves within league. So that is where they're at. Yes, the names are the same almost, right? There's nothing really new, but that is what they've got. We'll see what the Brazilian right back will do. I'm hearing good things from that camp on him, but it shouldn't be our problem, at least for this game. Future, maybe. This time, no. So that's where they're at. Now, this is my concern for them. I'm not concerned, just very obvious situation. If you look at their leading scorers and assist, providers, you could say, the names I'm mentioning aren't there in some cases. Yes, Chicharito was the top scorer. Joveljic was right behind him, but then was Samuel Grandsir. 4 goals on the season. That was the third highest score. He ain't around no more. Then you got Efrain Alvarez and Raveloson, who they've shipped off as well. So you can see some goals are leaving the lineup. Okay. Assists, Julian Araujo was their top assist man. He ain't there no more, right? And then Puig, who tied with 6 assists. Then Grandsir, not there anymore. Efrain Alvarez, Victor Vasquez now in Toronto. As you see, Cabral. There's names that were producing last year. They're not in the lineup anymore. And so they're trying to find solutions as to who's going to pick up that slack. So the lineup's not a bad lineup, but people have to step up. There has to be a change. I'll throw this to Araceli. Your thoughts on their lineup in the lead to this? Questions, concerns, even for us, or should we really be worried about this lineup, or is it kind of more the same for us in our approach?
I think in a way it would be more of the same because as you mentioned, they are missing a lot of players, a lot of I don't know if there's a lot of empty roles because I will be honest, I have not been following the Galaxy for the last couple of weeks, so I don't know of their new signings aside from what they've produced today, like Yuri Razel. But I do know Chicharito just announced on Instagram a few hours ago he already ruled himself out for Saturday's match due to an injury. So that is something important to note. But in terms of roster strength compared to us, I think it's the same in the sense that both sides have a lot of new players. So just to kind of see, like how I mentioned in the beginning, just to see how they all perform under pressure, I'm going to be curious about too, and just the overall question mark of the lineup of who will they field.
And ultimately 11 versus 11. Okay, looks pretty decent battle, right? But it's 12, 13, 14 that becomes the story, right? That's your separation. When you look at this game, what's the second half going to bring? Traditionally, we always bring in who? Latif, right? I mean, now you have Tillman. Now you have a bevy of center backs. You have outside backs that can come in as necessary. The wing situation, you've got a Croatian that is a unknown, but only positives we're hearing. So it's depth, right? And I go to you, Bam. If you're looking at the depth of roster, is that the difference maker to you?
It's close to being a difference maker. The biggest difference maker from any game is obviously the refs. For this.
Every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they have released all the refs for the game. So the man in charge is Ismail Elfath. He's done one derby. We lost at home in August 2020, 2-0 to Carson. While we've been the away team, though, out of the 2 games he's refed as us as away team, we've had a 100% win rate. Carson at home, he's done 7 games with 57.1% win rate for them. So that's how I'm going to look into it too. During the World Cup, he was a bit heavier with the cards than he is generally, but hopefully he doesn't bring that with him when he takes this game.
I mean, he is the top-rated referee in the league, right?
Yeah.
We saw him in the final. Yes, he red carded a man with a broken leg, but there's that. Yeah. Honestly, if there were any other ref in the league, I'd be a little more worried. I'll throw it that way, right?
Yeah,
he hasn't been.
Yeah, I'll agree too.
Yeah, he's been pretty level, I would say, with
Like
both sides.
When you look at including just his MLS games, I'm not going to include his World Cup games, just MLS games. He's done 203 games, 53.2% home wins, 26.6% away wins, and 20.2% draws, averaging 26.33 fouls per game, 3.5 yellows per game, and 0.25 reds per game.
Which means he wants a physical game. He's allowing for a physical game.
He is. And I'm hoping that what he learned in the World Cup doesn't come back with him. Because he was, out of the games he did in the World Cup, 30 fouls a game, 4.3 yellows. So hopefully he keeps the cards in Qatar and he's fine for us.
I mean, cards were flying in Qatar anyway, so I don't. Yeah, it's different here. I think that's a different approach for sure. So thank you for the ref preview because, dude, you always can count on Bam to be looking for the refs. Definitely. Looking for expectations for the Galaxy, Bam. Seeing where their roster is at. I mean, it's playoffs or bust, right?
Oh, it has to be plain and simple.
Yeah.
With them getting the extra hand with the new playoff systems, it's if they don't make the playoffs, by the end of the year, that's when you start protesting. You start protesting the players. You start protesting all that. At the moment, there isn't a protest. You've made the playoffs the last couple of years. Yes, you've been knocked out by the better team, but you still made the playoffs. There's not much you can do about that. What you have to do is protest when the team isn't good.
They're not a bad team. They're not. On field, they're not a bad team. I have to say this. I have to admit to this. They're not a bad team. There's some things missing to be a contender. But let's be real. They're competitive. More competitive than they've been in the past. Even when they could hide behind Zlatan, those teams were atrocious. They weren't protesting back then. Interesting, right? They didn't even make the playoffs. They weren't protesting. Now they're protesting. They could say Klein. I think it's more about us. But that's that. Looking at the head-to-head, Tony, history was an asterisk, correct? I mean, we have
Correct.
to say this now because of scandal. The record is no longer the record. It is now a suspect record. So I will
hmm
throw it to you, sir.
So the record against them is Carson has won 7 games. We have won 5, and we have drawn 5. But as we say in asterisk, and history can show it, as with the Klein out movement and everything that's going on, and the suspensions and everything, Pavone played in 6 of those games, and technically he's an illegal player, and so those games shouldn't count. But at the end of the day, in those 6 games, it was 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses, 4 goals against, and or 4 goals and 2 against.
He scored
So
4 goals. Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, he scored 4 goals and 2 assists. Sorry, I thought it was sorry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's moving forward. Again, leading up to this, we won the last time we faced each other. We knocked them out of the playoffs again, and it seems to be a trend. We won the Supporter Shield. We have to play them. We have to knock them out.
Playoffs, MLS next.
Yeah,
It's what we do against them.
exactly.
Big games, we step up. I also want to thank, because I'm going to keep saying this, Pavone, like, you say you have a winning record, but again, the 2-win difference, because it's because of him. Realistically, he had on 2019, actually 2020, September 7th, 2020, they had a 3-0 win against us. He had a goal and an assist. Our only loss to them at the bank during a shutdown, right? Because we weren't there. He played 90 minutes and a 2-0 win. Then the draw, 3-3 draw, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2019. Yeah, at the bank. That's your difference in record with an illegal player. Now, bam. In most leagues, if you field an illegal player, what are the results for the games that player affected? What do they do usually?
I think it's a 3-0 loss to the team that had their legal player. It's a 3-0 loss automatically. But you know what?
Forfeit. Yeah.
Look, let's get rid of all that kind of stuff. No matter what, even if he didn't play those games, the results could have been the same, could have been worse, could have been different. It's a rivalry game. It's a derby game. It's hatred. It's out for blood. We've got to look at it going, don't worry about the past. It's all about the future. We've got to win the next game. Plain and simple against these guys. We've got to start winning in the regular season and keep winning in the playoffs against them.
Do it straight, right? Get the job done. Of course, you mentioned the collision course of winning teams on opening day. Tony, there's kind of an interesting stat regarding opening matches for the Galaxy and LAFC, right?
Yes, there's actually 2. Well, the first one is every time we've opened our game, we've won. You know what I mean? It's been with the new teams. Last year it wasn't, but we have been winning every season. And to add to more of that, Carson always seems to play the reigning MLS Cup winner. And guess who it is this year? Us. Now, last time they played the MLS Cup reigning championship was NYFC, and they ended up beating them in the start of the season. So again, now it's on a whole nother level. They do have a good team. As much as we don't want to say this, they do. But again, this is a good test in general for us to see how the season will go moving forward.
Yeah, I guess in the last 5 games, last 5 opening days for Galaxy, they have not lost. Collision course, 2 teams that are good at opening day. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Personally, knowing that Jovic is the guy that's going to start, he tends to hurt us a bit. So that's also something to be aware of, that we do need to take this one very seriously. It is a rivalry match. I know the guys will. But as supporters, we do as well. You can't walk into that thing thinking it's going to be just a big celebration. Congrats on the star. No, you guys, and it's never been a problem for the 32-52. This is basically just another extension of a playoff game. It's a rivalry. We have to give everything we've got, whether it's 30 degrees, sing until it breaks. That is where we're at. Got to be that way, without a doubt. And that's really going to be the story. That's going to be the matchup. Araceli, what are you looking for in this match to tell us that we're going to be in a good place? What do you have to see? What do you think you need to see to know that we've found it the right way and we're the one that's going to walk away with this thing?
I think all eyes are going to be on Bouanga. Is he going to be the next Chicho for us for this season? Based on what I've seen during the preseason matches, he seems to be in great shape, great form. Obviously, you guys can speak a little bit more to that than I can, but I think that's going to definitely be one of the questions. Is he the new number 9 in that sense? Even though his jersey number is 99 still. But otherwise, just kind of the midfield, the impact that it could still have now that Latif is with New England. Who's going to help Ilie in the midfield? So again, there's a lot of questions surrounding this match, but I think the focus, at least for me will be on Bouanga.
Excellent. So Bouanga is the story, his adjustment into it. Does he ride this hot streak from preseason into the regular season? Good story. All right. I will throw this over to you, Tony. What tells us that things are going to go well for us? What are we looking for in this lineup? What kind of performance do you need, and what players are going to be the story to make it happen?
On this one, I'm actually going to pass since I'm more insider baseball for this week, since I was at a performance center. So I'm going to respect my team and just kind of pass on that and just agree with what Araceli said. I do have, like I said, what I saw, would love to say, but out of respect for our club, our colors, and being a supporter, I'm going to have to pass.
I'll throw it to you then, Bam. You have the floor, sir.
For me, it's going to be how much determination you guys have. The guys that have been here last year and all that know what it's like to go in a battle against these guys, know what it takes to win. Does the new guys that come in have that straight away, or are they going to build into it? That's where it's going to be the biggest deciding factors for me for this game.
Which gives us this opening. Do you think a new guy is going to find his way into the starting lineup, or are we going to stick with old guys to start this game?
I think it's going to sound strange, but I think we're going to have a new guy in the back. I think Kalini's going to stay on the bench.
You think it's Long's debut for this match?
I think it's going to be a Long's debut.
So Long and Murillo are your starters?
Yep.
Okay. He's calling Long and Murillo. Tony's not going to help us on this one. I understand, sir. I don't mess it up because he's probably seen. He knows. We'll leave it at that. I respect it. Araceli, your starting center backs?
That is a good question. Because I can see it go either way. Given the gravity of this game, I do see Long making his debut, but it's possible we could see that debut in the second half.
Which brings it to me. I'm crazy. I like players that are used to playing in front of 80,000 people and think, I'll just win a trophy in this situation. And there's only one guy out on our team that has done that, and that would be Chiellini. He looked good. He looked healthy. And Murillo's calm when he plays with him, right? There's a thing there. I would say go with what works. Go with what's comfortable, you could say. That's safe. And those two together, it's safe. Long can come in as necessary, right? And get into the mix. And it's nothing against Long, but familiarity, I think, is important. Outside backs, is there any debate, guys? We know who it's going to be, right? Palacios, Hollingshead, right? Everybody's nodding in agreement. Good. Yeah, man. You want to say something?
The only thing I can think of is they might go with Palencia if Hollingshead or Palacios wake up a bit niggly. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, if needed. Okay.
Yeah, if needed. It's one of those where they come off the training pitch and feel a little niggle, like they'll be fine, but they don't want to risk starting the game with them. So
the weird warm up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Palencia is going to be your your Escobar sub situation. He's basically just subbing for Escobar. Sheesh. Right? Like for like. But younger, but faster, but yeah. Midfield situation, I don't think we have much debate here. If Ilie is ready to go, Ilie is going to go. Cifuentes is going to go. And, Acosta is going to go. It's tough because Tillman looked really good against San Diego, but it was San Diego, and it's the first day. Hard ask, but I will say if Tillman can handle it, we know he can handle it. He's got history. So, again, he's going to play minutes. We don't know when those minutes are going to be, but I think that, yeah, you're going to see that. Crisostomo, I think he's watching the game. Let's be real, unless really, really, really called upon. So there's that. Now, up top, I think it's settled too. It's just where are they going to place them, right? Is Opoku in the middle? Is Opoku on the wing? Is Bouanga on the wing? I think we're kind of saying yes. Is Vela on the wing, or is he playing in the middle? What's the surprise going to be? If I'm a betting man, and I was not at that training, so you can't accuse me of this. I didn't see it. I didn't get a report on it. I have this funny feeling that Vela is floating in the middle, that he's ready to go. He's in the middle. The other two are going to run, go wild, service, make it happen. And Vela heads him in, does whatever he has to do, and makes it happen. And they take turns, sometimes out, sometimes in, taking advantage of the Leerdam situation on the left. I think that's the guy they go after the most. And, of course, Raheem's Raheem. Again, their outside backs, to me, are weak in this matchup. Again, good side, have some issues, but against our lineup, we can definitely take advantage of that, and that's where it sits. Araceli, your thoughts on the top three? Are they going to shift around, or is it going to look pretty traditional?
I think it's going to look pretty traditional to start off with. If there's any surprises, it's probably, oh goodness, how do you pronounce his last name? Buick? Stipes? Stipe?
Buke? I never get it right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to hear it when he scores a goal.
I clearly still need to learn how to pronounce some of our players' names, but
the one. Yeah.
It could be a surprising factor to see him start. I'll just put it out there.
Yeah. Bam.
I'm gonna say Vela on the left.
Ooh.
Bonga in the middle, and Opoku out on the right.
Hey. And you think they're going to try to shift with that, stay with that as long as they possibly can, or be quick with the changes?
I think they'll be quick with the changes. I think it's going to be, they're going to attack as you said, they're going to attack the one side a lot, but they'll keep rotating who's attacking. Someone needs a little bit of break, they go on the other side. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be keep rotating that middle going. When one's getting the better hand, okay, slot rotations, hit this a couple of times. All right, he needs a break, flip it around.
So hunt for a mismatch and wear down one guy of choice.
Yep.
Okay.
But that being said,
that works for me.
if Ilie isn't fit for this, I'm going to say Vela moves into the mid.
I don't. I think if Ilie doesn't go, then it's Tillman. He'll play controlling mid. He'll hold it. You could do Acosta too.
I'm saying Acosta goes to the controlling. Sifu goes to the left. Vela goes down, and it'll be Opoku, Bouanga, Buick up top.
We'll see. I don't think so. I know. Tony, what you got, man? Here comes the ref.
I know. All I can say is everyone was training except for Max. So do with that information as you will. So
yes, and looking good. I know for you that did do good. So that wasn't there, but yeah, we'll see. It's good. It's good times to be an LAFC fan, and yes, we have options, which is good too. All of a sudden, so get there, make it happen. Let's hear from the faithful. They've been chomping at the bit. We got a few comments, so we're gonna get it to you guys, and then we're gonna close this bad boy up and get rested and ready for Saturday. So let's see what we've got. Some comments. Moving on. Ooh, so field conditions from Jeremy. He mentioned that earlier. We'll just go back to it. We've heard nothing but good things. So we'll see what the field, how flooded it is with all this rain. But I've heard good things. So we'll see what happens there. If anything, our field is taking more of a beating. Yes, sir.
Also look at it too is both teams got to play on it. So it might be bad for us or be bad for them. You know, it could be that Sunday mud pitch, or it could be the pristine EPL Wembley pitch. So all I can say is both teams got to play on it. Both teams got to adapt. See who's better at adapting to the pitch.
Yep. Let's see. Jose Bernal, he's going to the game. I think we're going to be sharing a bus. Good stuff there. Diego Rivera going to the game. Love it. Michael in the mix. He says he's making fun of the playoff best of 3. I've had a 100% no in this. I have yet to see someone go, that's a great idea. Nope, none of that. Let's see. Ooh, Mark wants to know any word on how many tickets have been sold for Saturday. 10 days ago, it was 70,000. Okay. And tickets have been selling consistently. I'm hearing 77. I think the last number I heard, and growing. So it's going to get close. If it's 77, I think that's record, right? 75 is record. So that would be record. So I heard maybe the record's happening. That's what I heard. So, yeah. Edge goes, he loves Stone Roses. There you go. And he's picked, this is the one. All right. Dave is ready for the opener. Love it. Danielle says, I know the league Apple had a big hand in this game happening at Rose Bowl, but I bet Carson is happy they can maintain their unbeaten streak at the home StubHub part. What do you want to call that place? Since they always have going. Yeah, but they're forfeits now, at least in my eyes. Whatevs. Mark Lopez, San Diego comes in. Does that eat away at Carson's OC fan base? Every home game for Las Vegas will be an away game. Everyone across the league will travel there for away days. You mean like the Raiders situation? Sorry, I love you guys that are Raider fans, but it's got to be hard sometimes. I get it, though. I get it.
But the away trips, the road trips to Vegas.
And a high-speed train's being built. Can you imagine getting off the train and walking to the stadium? I'm just saying. It's a thing. If they go where they are rumored to be going with the new stadium, you would actually get out of the station and it would be like connected.
Which is
Why
good.
would we not do that? This is good.
Because that way it might be cheaper for people to fly into LA than train across.
Cheaper. Yeah. It's good. Edge is looking at Louisville. Potential. Indianapolis, he mentioned as well. Jonah B says, too many teams in the league. We need a second division and regulation football. If I was MLS, I know we want relegation, but I find a billionaire that wants to lose money. Tell me, are there any billionaires in this world that want to lose money? Lots of it, and TV money.
In the U.S.? No.
The U.S.?
In the U.S., no. Because, again, when you go into Europe or the other leagues, they will invest because they know they can get money out of it. Now, if you tell them it's a closed league and they don't really lose money, they don't want that. This is why we have the NBA, NHL, NFL, etc., etc., etc.
See, this is where I'm going to come in with the other logic is you're going to get, the way I look at it, 40 teams, that's what they'll do 1 year, 40 teams, West Conference, East Conference, 20 in each conference. Top 10 goes to MLS Premier, bottom 10 goes to MLS Championship. What you'll see then, you'll find owners will be caught out that spend money, but don't spend money and go, shit, we've been relegated. That is where it will change.
I'm going to counter you with that with look at Europe and how they want to do a super league with all the bigger teams that have money so they keep their money because they see what the MLS is doing and they want that.
I think we're going to get a Western League and an Eastern League. 18 teams each. Let's go crazy here. We only face them when it comes to playoffs because travel sucks, right? And then it's more regionalized as a league, more away days on your side of the continent. And we go from there. Could happen. Sounds crazy. but you never know. Relegation ain't happening in the United States. As much as we'd love it, not with this league. Not with this league. I honestly do think, and y'all gonna hate me for saying this, if anything, down the line, other leagues from around the world are gonna model us more than we're gonna model them because of financial stability. It sucks, but
No,
you just had a Super League almost break off. Like,
yeah, but you look at who just bought into the EPL, because instead of paying $500 million for an MLS team, it cost them $100 million for an EPL team. That is where you're going to kill people wanting to buy into the MLS because it's going to cost them too much to buy in.
Not
on a team that
necessarily.
could get relegated.
Exactly.
For a team that could get relegated.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
but see,
saying.
what you'll find that a lot more of the people that came in early that aren't spending money will be like, oh, this is costing me more than it should. I don't want in this. Sell out. You get more people with money that can buy in and spend more money, grow the league a lot more. You'll find that.
But the problem is,
We will see. We
the
will see.
I would say the problem is with deals like Apple, where they're paying this much, everyone gets a cut of that. That's what happened with the Premier League. Remember, the Premier League wasn't the Premier League the way it is now. It was a league, it was popular, but once they got that TV money, you saw what happened. It exploded. It made more money. It jumped Serie A. It jumped La Liga, everything. And to this day, Premiership has been doing that continuously and keep growing. Mind you, there are still teams like Manchester United. They want the Glazers out. They want money in, and that is reputable. But also, Real Madrid, Juventus, all the big clubs want this Super League so they can keep the money in their circles and get richer. So that way they don't lose money on the bottom dollar. And if they put a bad product out, they still get money back.
We could debate this for hours. We have a game on Saturday, and we could be debating it through Sunday. I'd rather go to the game than debate pro and rel. Straight up. We could talk about that forever, right?
Yeah. I think it's going to have to be a mid-season break.
We'll have to call in defenders.
Yeah, we'll call everyone in. We'll call the pod family. We'll sit down. We'll do a massive pod of talking about the advantages, disadvantages of pro rel.
Right. I think David Day has a better question for all of you. I'm in Pasadena now. Drove around the Rose Bowl. Where the hell is Lot A? Supporter section for us. North side, golf course parking between the golf course and the stadium. That's the lot, sir. So, north side of the stadium in the golf courses, because they make you park on a golf course. That's where we're going to be. Not the south side. Dave Gomez predicting Blanco will win the Golden Boot. You are not alone on that. I'm hearing that a lot. I mean, Slip mentioned it last episode, so there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much what I see from the conversations. I see pro rail conversations. We'll definitely do that at some point, guys, but not this one. We've got a game to play against our rivals. We mean to handle that. All right, guys. Thank you for all that you've brought into this thing. It's been fun for this preview. It's been heavy. We've been on for a while with this because there's just too much to talk about. And of course, it brings it to now. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going home. We're going to bed. We're getting a rest. I need my voice to be ready for this. I got to find my winter gear because all of a sudden we're going on a winter game. So bring it. All right. I'll throw this to Tony first. Final thoughts, my friend.
Final thoughts. 2 things. Be safe out there. Or 3 things. Be safe out there. Remember, dress warmly because it's going to be cold and it will rain. Second thing is shout out to Lucky's, Pride Republic, and Cuervos for their meet and greets. For all the people I met there, thank you for letting me join and, enjoy your festivities. Again, as you saw, it was very simple for me just to come out, and yes, I am already in the supporter culture, but how easy it is just to show up and they were greeted with welcome arms. On that note, this is where I'm going to get on like a little soapbox is I want people to be supporters. And I mean that in the best way possible. There is a difference between saying you're a fan and a supporter. And if you're saying you're a supporter, you're out there supporting your team full 90 plus, going hard. And that is pretty much the limit of it. There are more ways to support and everything like that. Going to the TIFOs, putting in community work, doing stuff for your community around you. And I've been hearing a lot lately the name supporters being thrown out loosely, and that kind of irks me a wrong way, because people like Joseph Bam, who's out there, even he still supports the best way he can possibly do it. But people who put in the work is being taken away as anybody, as anyone can be a supporter. Yes, anyone can be a supporter, but there's a difference between a supporter and a fan. So I want to just put that out there, and be a fan if you want to be a fan. But if you're going to be a supporter, it's a lot of hard work, but it's rewarding at the end of the day.
Late nights, early setups, random nights, driving 54 miles one way to paint something. That's the life of a supporter. Flying to Costa Rica for an early round game. Life of a supporter. It's what we do. It's what we love. It's in our blood. We can't help it. But we want all you guys to be part of it too, if you can, and hang. That's the thing. If you're down for the work, you're down for it. Not just the photo ops, but the work. We want you on board. That is for certain. But the work is required. It goes both ways. It's more than the photo ops. That is for certain. Cleaning moldy flags. Guess what my homework is before opening day? That's it. You got to do it. Glamorous stuff, not so glamorous stuff. The work is required. In this case, this week, your work is to sing. Get it done. Make some noise. Make it happen. Araceli, final thoughts.
It's a new season, but the message is still the same. So I'm going to steal Tony's soapbox for this for a quick second. Please, please be safe out there. Look out for each other. Make sure you have a plan, whether if it's to get to Pasadena or exiting the stadium. Definitely plan ahead. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to any of us. Yes, I know I'm here in KC, but I can say from experience, I have been to the Rose Bowl in the past. I went to a Copa America game in 2016. I believe it was like Mexico versus Jamaica. A great experience, the game was, but it was an absolute nightmare getting out of that stadium. I remember being stuck for around 3 hours, just waiting for a bus to get back. Now, granted, it was my very first time, so I probably did something wrong. But regardless, my point is the same. Plan ahead, have some type of action, ask for help, and just simply don't be stupid. I can tell you from a league perspective, this game is being promoted heavily. Yes, Saturday is MLS is back. All the other teams will be playing, except for my hometown, thanks to a winter storm. But the point is, all eyes will be on you, and they will be on the Rose Bowl. So think and just really protect each other.
Well said. Strength in numbers, people. Do not isolate yourself. Do not fade away. Stick with groups of fellow supporters and fans. It's just essential, that it's human nature, have some accountability. That's for sure. Thank you, Araceli, for saying that. Wise words, without a doubt. Which more wise words, I'm sure, are coming from my boy Bam. What do you got to say, man? You're used to these rivalry matches, dude. Throw it out there, man. Tell us how it is on the final moment.
I'll just start off with welcome a new member to our pod family. Happy Foot, Sad Foot. I've listened to their first 2 pods so far. Great work, guys. It's done by Travis and Darren. Keep it up, boys. You're doing a great job. Now, back into the nitty-gritty of it. You're going into enemy territory. Let's be honest. Going to enemy territory. We know what Carson fans are like in the past. I'm not saying that we've been angels, but we know what was happening in the past. I want all of our listeners, do us a favor. Saturday night when you get home, tweet at us, home safe. I want to make sure that all our listeners, all our fans are home safe. I want you to tweet at us, home safe. That's the big thing. Also, after the game, I'll be tweeting out on the Heart of LAFC Twitter account. I want your votes for this year's Player of the Year. We're bringing it back after last year. We're bringing back Player of the Year. Voted by you guys. We want to hear who you think you have the better games and all that kind of stuff. And again, guys, reach out to each other. Make sure everyone's okay. Mental health is a major issue, not only in Australia, not only in America, but globally. Reach out to each other, talk to each other, and remember, there's always someone there to help.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Again, looking out for each other, it's essential. That is what we call a community, last time I checked. So, good stuff. My final thoughts. Again, get there safe, come home safe, be aware, be an adult about these things. Enjoy the game to the best of your abilities, but within your abilities. Okay? Handle yourselves. And know that when you're wearing the colors, you represent all of us. And just know that. Okay? We are not them, they are not us. Right? We know this already. But let's go on our best. Show the world what we do. Put on the show that we always put on and support the MLS defending champion Los Angeles Football Club. At the end of the day, the tour begins, right? Time to defend the star that we've earned and the crest that we love. And on that note, final word from everybody. Araceli, final word.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Ooh, bam.
Stay golden.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.